Hello, everyone, and welcome. One of the greatest assets of the University of Georgia Department of Food Science and Technology is its faculty. Our professors are world-renowned, award-winning scientists dedicated to training the next generation of food scientists for the workforce. To celebrate this fact, we are going to feature a different member of our faculty each month in a new series called Faculty Focus. If you're curious about our research, want to learn more about our department, or just want to get the inside scoop on your future professors, then this is the series for you. For our first episode, we're going to feature Dr. Kevin Solval. Dr. Solval is an assistant professor of food engineering and drawing technologies at UGA's Griffin campus. During our interview, we talked about his research, cannonball jellyfishing, his passion for his students, and much more. We hope you enjoy the first episode of Faculty Focus.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out. My name is Kevin Solval. I'm an assistant professor of food process engineering, Department of Food Science and Technology. I'm based in Griffin, Georgia. And speaking of my academic background, I'm originally from Guatemala, born and raised. When I was finishing high school, I always had an interest for, the food industry. And unfortunately, at the time, there were not really good universities in Guatemala, to pursue a food science, food processing degree. And, the only option that I had was to either, enroll maybe in chemical engineering department or go overseas or abroad, enroll in a food science program. So, then I came across a program in Honduras at Zamorano University, which is, on another country. It's a university that only has 4 majors, a small university. But one of those majors that they offer is food science and technology. So when I learned about their program, was really fascinated by it. All the things the students were doing, the great faculty, the great professors that were teaching the program. So decided to apply, and I applied for the program. So thankfully, I got accepted and I got a partial scholarship to attend the university. So that's why I moved to Honduras, and for the next for next 4 years, I study food science. And it was a really nice environment where I could interact with people from pretty much all Latin America except Brazil. We're not many Brazilians in Zamorano University. But it was a great experience. I remember back in college when we were working in commercial scale processing facilities that are actually on campus. So we're working in dairy plants, meat processing facilities. They have also really nice product development laboratories, really nice food chemistry labs. And so that definitely, helped me to consider pursuing a graduate degree. So when I was a senior, I had the opportunity to come to Louisiana State University, Department of Food Science, as an intern. So I worked in the lab of Dr. Sugamanian Sativel for 4 months as an intern when I was a senior at Zamorano. So and after that internship, that's a short time, Dr. Sativel offered me to return as a master's student. He asked me to apply for the master's program at LSU, and that's why that's how I ended up applying to the program. So I took that as an opportunity to improve my communication skills, learn a little bit about the graduate school, and a little bit more about the scientific program here in the U.S. Before that, actually never had any interest of coming to the U.S. to study at all. That's not really common back in Guatemala. 99% of my friends in Guatemala never left the country to pursue a graduate degree or anything. Probably because they don't need it. And that, and I think it's also related with like the language barriers. So there, Guatemala unfortunately doesn't have a good bilingual system. So that was kind of the constraints that we're facing back there. Anyways, I came back as a master's student. Worked in the lab of Dr. Sativel for a couple of years. I got my master's degree. I always want to go back to Guatemala or want to go back to Latin America. But then after I finished my master's degree, he asked me whether I was interested in pursuing a PhD. Um, in his lab, in his group. And then, it took me a while to think about it. And then I decided to, stay a little bit longer. So I applied for the biological and agriculture engineering department, where he is an adjunct faculty. So I got admitted into the program, the PhD program, and for the next 4 years, I work on different types of projects related to food innovation, value addition, food engineering. Presented, our results in main conferences. Wrote peer review articles, and I was really happy, with the work that I was doing. I was really fascinated, but again, everything that I was doing, I always had a plan to go back to Latin America, sometime at some point in my life. But then, after some years working with my in my PhD, I met my now wife, who is from Brazil. So we got married in 2014, and so we decided to maybe stay in a neutral zone, so which is the U.S. now. And after I finished my PhD, I didn't have a strong interest to join academia. I always wanted to go to industry, but then my first job offer was for a teaching position, academic position. My advisor always wanted me to apply for academic positions, perhaps because he saw something that I couldn't see at the time, in me. And so I taught for a couple of years at the University of Holy Cross in New Orleans. So I was teaching physics courses, advanced physics, food processing courses. And at the time, I also was working with a food innovation center in Norco, Louisiana, helping small entrepreneurs, small companies, to develop new products. I did that for a couple of years. Then after 2 years, I decided that it was time for me to move on to a bigger challenge. Because unfortunately, at the University of Holy Ghost, I didn't have a research appointment, and so I was mainly teaching and working in this extension position. And I wanted to I want to continue with publishing papers. I wanted to have a lab, wanted to have students. And I got a position at nanotechnology company in Dayton, Ohio, where I managed spray drying operations of the company. We were making energy storage products. My area expertise is spray drying, so I was managing all the spray drying operations, spray drying team. We're doing a lot of work, exciting work with spray drying. Work with material scientists and materials engineers. Fortunately, I wasn't working with foods, right? So, but I really liked that position. I was having really a lot of fun till, I saw the announcement for my current position. And so, sure enough, my major professor, encouraged me to apply. I know, working for University of Georgia, it's a privilege and it's a very competitive. But I decided to apply. Never thought I was going to get it. I wanted to get the position to apply. I got invited for interviews, and fast forward, that was 5 years ago.